Does it feel like a battle in your house every time you need your kid to do something? Do you feel like you're always arguing with your kid just to get them to pick up things around the house or do their chores or just take care of the things they're supposed to do? What if I told you that I've discovered that there's something that many of us parents are doing that if we changed could really start changing that dynamic and changing our family life experiences to turn them in a more positive direction? Well, if that sounds good to you, stay tuned to this video where I'm going to show you what that is and how to change it. This thing that you're doing actually has two parts to it that I want to help you with right here. And I want to illustrate it for you in the adult world. So let's say you're working for a company and your boss sends you an email about something that you need to get done. You read the email, what happens? It goes into sort of a list that you have in your mind of things that need to get done. And you're going to put it wherever it needs to go based on what you perceive as what its importance is. But now let me change one thing. Let's say instead of sending the email, your boss shows up in your office one morning, sits down and has a 5 or 10 minute conversation about that very email. Instead of sending it as an email, they show up and talk about it. Now you put it on your priority list of things that have to get done. Where does it go? Typically, it goes much higher up on that priority list. Why? The principle here is that proximity changes the felt value of an instruction. And so when our boss bothered to show up to our office to talk about the instruction that they wanted to give us, we suddenly put it higher up in our priority list. So how does this relate to our parenting? The first way this relates to our parenting is that a lot of us are calling for our kids from rooms and rooms away. How many times are we shouting for our kids and we're in the kitchen and our kids upstairs in their bedroom? Or we're in the living room, we're shouting out the back door for our kids to come inside. There's lots of times where we're shouting to get our kids' attention from far away. What does that tell our child? Unintentionally, we're telling our children that what we have to say at that moment is not really that important, because if it was important, we would close that gap down a whole lot. Just like our boss did, we would get a whole lot closer to our child to give the instruction, because when our proximity is closer, it changes the felt value of the instruction. So that first thing I want you to do is to close the gap between you and your kid. Commit to not calling for your child rooms and rooms away, but going to where your child is and getting in that room and then calling for your child. That might be getting right in the room and standing in the doorway, or it might be going all the way into the room and even putting your arm around your child. But whatever it is, close the gap. Now, the second thing we can learn from that story about our boss coming into our office is, what did you and I do when our boss walked in? Our boss walked in, our boss said our name, and we looked up and we greeted our boss and we paid attention. We need to help our kids realize that when we call their name, they need to come when they're called, whether that's looking up and seeing us standing very close to them and saying, "Yes, Mom," or "Yes, Dad," or getting up and walking over to us and saying, "Coming, Mom," and "Coming, Dad," and actually showing up in our presence. This is really important to do. And you're going to find that if you start teaching your children this, you're going to see an increase in their responsiveness and an increase in their cooperation when you're giving instructions. Because you see, what's happening is your child is making a decision in the heart. When you call them and they say, "Coming, Mom," or "Coming, Dad," and they walk over to you and they put down the book, they put down the video game, they put down the toy, and they come over to you, they've made a decision in the heart. That decision in the heart that they've made is that they need to come when they're called, even if they want to keep playing. They made the decision to cooperate and come on over. Now, as I've taught you these two little steps here, if that's sort of blowing your mind a little bit or changing the way you think you're going to give instructions, do me a favor, hit that like button on this video so I know it's helping you. But now here's the key. How you call them will make all the difference. Let me show you what I mean. Let's take a pretend kid here and call her Samantha. And Samantha's playing something and you walk into the room and now you have a choice of how you call Samantha. In the first scenario, you just look at Samantha and you say, "Samantha," and that's all you say. In the second scenario, you say, "Samantha, you need to go put your shoes away. You left them in the hallway." Which one of those two scenarios will you get Samantha to cooperate more likely? If you said the first one, you're right. You see, the first one, one, all you did was say Samantha's name. Samantha now needs to make a decision in the heart. Am I going to keep playing with my toy, or am I going to go see my mom or my dad? Am I going to keep doing this thing I want to do, or am I going to do the thing I need to do? It's a decision between continuing to play or going to see my parent. But you see, in the second scenario, the choices are slightly different. Samantha's now asking, when you say, Samantha, you need to go pick up your shoes, you left them in the hallway there. She's now making a decision not between you and playing, but between picking up shoes and playing. Well, that's a harder decision because I really don't want to go pick up my shoes if I'm Samantha. I want to keep playing. And so just by withholding the instruction until you have Samantha's attention, you're going to increase cooperation. So here's what I want you to do. I want you right now, today, when you go to give an instruction to your child, 1, close the gap between you and your child. 2, only say their name until they've separated from what they're doing and they come and see you. Now, you can't just spring this on your child and not actually teach them that this is what you expect. If we're going to start expecting our children to change how they interact with us, we want to let them know this and introduce this whole concept of, hey, when I say your name, I want you to say, coming mom or coming dad, and come on over. Or if they're right next to you, you just turn and say, yes, mom, yes, dad, but we need to teach them that that's what we expect. And to do that, I have a free resource just for you. It's called 5 Simple Steps to Get Your Kids to Follow Instructions, and the link for it is in the description down below. If you found this video helpful, I'm just touching the tip of the iceberg in this video. I've got 5 days. Every single day, you're going to get an email with a new link with like a 5 to 10 minute video with more tips just like this. They're going to help you deliver better instructions and show you how to help your kids hear those instructions better and actually follow through on what they're told to do instantly, completely, and cheerfully. Go grab your free copy in the link down below. And if you found this video helpful and you want more great ideas for using a heart-based approach to parenting, you want to check out the video that's coming up on the screen next. Thanks for watching, everybody, and I'll see you real soon. Bye-bye.